Hello, you all. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Mental Health is Power. I have a special guest in the building today. I've been longing for this moment for quite some time. I used to see this guy, and I feel like there's a lot of story he could tell, based on his experience. Because we had a little chat, behind the scene on how he came about to be this person you are today. He is today, rather, and he experienced quite a lot of things on his upbringing, as well as, the accident was got involved in too. This guy is disabled, bro. Being disabled is not something I take it light, because people talk about you, not only talk about you, but feel pity for you, all those things. And one guy who briefed us, I was in a workshop, the time I was working at Kucha.
Okay.
There was a guy who's called Pontina, the guy got in a car accident, extremely car accident, bad, He recently wrote a book on how he got baptized with fire, and you will see that guy. I'll connect you with him, He has a nice book there. So he briefed us on how people perceive being disabled, and stuff like that. But I won't go deep to that. We'll have this conversation later on this live video. Well, yeah, this guy here is Mr. Xolisa Runeli. I call him the counselor in Port of Fred. This guy's big. People know this guy because of his effort in the community. He fights for the rights of the people. I'll give this time to you, my guy, so that you introduce yourself further than that.
Afternoon, Mr. Konda.
Yes, man.
And to your viewers at large. I am Xolisa Runeli.
Yeah.
Some have given me a political name. Mnyana Wesizwe, because of my activism. I always tell the people that I'm not a politician. I'm an activist. I'm a doctor of the society.
Wow.
Because politicians are people who are confined in boardroom discussion. I'm always there at the forefront of the struggle of the people.
Wow.
I'm always there at where our people are. Where our people are experiencing difficulties and struggle. You'll find me at the trenches, at the squatter camps. You'll find me at the farm workers. You'll find me everywhere. So it's on those bases that I see myself as not being a politician, rather than an activist and a doctor of a society.
No, I like that.
Yeah. So that is me.
Wow.
Xolisa Runeli Nyana Wesizwe,
Wow.
Mr. God.
Yeah, no, I won't forget that Nyana Wesizwe, It's quite a good thing, man. People praise you, in this community. They say you're doing quite a good job, serving their needs and stuff like that, which is a good thing, And tell me, man, before we even go further than that, you got involved into a car accident.
It's a motorbike accident.
Yes,
motorbike accident.
Tell me about it, man. What happened?
Mr. Konda, what happened is that that year I buried my late mother. I think it was 2016. It was 2016 March when my mother passed away. And later during the year, I was involved in this accident. This accident happened when I was driving from King Williamstown, going back home to Port Alfred. I via Grahamstown, because that day I had to meet brief attorneys of a matter of ladies who were being dismissed at work at Beavers. So the hearing was tomorrow, the following day. So I had to brief an attorney, because I managed to get them an attorney. So I had to brief him as to what's going to happen, about what is the situation, so that he could be ready for years to help these poor ladies who were working for years at one of the beavers, and then they were told that the shop is being closed, and then they were concerned about their monies that they've been working for, because they've been working there for years. So I had to via Grahamstown, and then from Grahamstown I went to Bathurst, and from Bathurst I went to see the mother of my son. And then.
And how old is your son?
My son is 3 years.
Oh,
He's 3 years. And then it so happened that because I went to also show her the bike which I've just purchased. Wow, so out of that excitement, So it so happened that I used the R67 on my way home, Mr. Ponda, as I went and I was going downhill, and then a car was coming, overtaking my lane, uphill. So it was a matter of going between the car or just avoiding the situation. So I had to avoid the situation, and then I found myself in that accident.
Terrible. So was it the first day you riding the bike that time?
No, it was not the first day, because I purchased the bike, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And then I kept it a secret. And then even the person that I purchased the bike from, I said to him, keep this bike, because I don't have space at my place. So if you could keep it, and then so when I have a space, I will come and fetch it. And I was riding that bike, because there were occasions where I ride the bike and then take it to him to keep, because I didn't have a storage. But this day, it so happened that on the 8th of May, on the 8th of December, I had an emergency where I had to rush to East London. And then I thought something that will make me get to East London fast, it's that bike. Because what happened, it was the time I purchased I think it was a phone, a cell phone, a Samsung S7 Kev. And then what happened, I purchased it online, and to find out I was mad. So I paid something like 8,000, I think. So imagine getting home and find this thing, it's not what you thought it is. It's a scam. So I was like, let me rush the following day, because this thing was being sold to me by another guy who's a foreign national. So I knew his store. So let me quickly rush in that morning to East London, so I could find him, so giving him that phone, and then he pays back my money, So it was that issue that triggered me to say, my brother, I'll be coming to fetch the bike, I need to rush to East London because there's this. And I went to East London, and I further, after I resolved the matter of the phone, I thought, okay, let me go to King Williamstown, because there's also a matter of CIDP, which I need to attend. And then I drove to King Williamstown, and then I knew afternoon I'm having a brief with the hotel. So instead of going back, let me use that route. So it so happened, it's so shocking, because one cannot even argue that I could not ride that bike, because the route, that distance, to East London, even where the accident happened, one would say, he could not turn, but you take into account the route, the 150 kilometers I traveled to East London, the 35 kilometers I traveled to King Williamstown. From King Williamstown, it was Grahamstown. From Grahamstown, it was Bathurst. You know, so it's not an it just happened, you know. Yeah.
So now the time it happened, did you think you would ever walk again or something like that?
Hey, Mr. Konda, what happened? It's happened so quick. So quick, Mr. Konda. It happened so quick.
Yeah.
I found myself, Mr. Konda, on the floor.
Yeah.
With the exhaust. It was quite a big motorbike. It was a Honda. A Honda, so a Blackbird. So I think it was 1100 cc. Yeah. It was a powerful bike with double exhaust. So, Mr. Konda, what happened is that I fell. It rolled, and then those two exhausts that were still burning, because most of those exhausts get so heated when you ride a bike.
Oh yeah.
So when I fell, the bike was still stuck between my legs, and then I was burning, and I could not. What happened is that I noticed one of the person who was overtaking, he stopped after he came to me, and then he was like holding his hands, keep calm, Few minutes he left. He left me there. I tried pushing this bike, because now it was at a point that it was starting to burn me, So I pushed the bike, so at least, that those the heat from those exhausts are at a space, where I cannot, they're not injured. But I found that I could not move. My right knee the bone was out. The bone was out, and then someone stopped, a gentleman who I knew, and who knew me, who came after the person left, the one of the vehicles, which was part of the situation. And then he was asking me what's happened. I told him that I had this situation. Luckily, Mr. Kon, at that time, I had a cell phone where I called one of my uncle who was working for government at the time, telling him that I've got this thing. He must immediately get the ambulance. Find this, So this guy came, and then he was trying to, because it was about in the evening. Okay. At least it was becoming dark. So he started lighting. This guy trying to assist me at the time. Little did I know, a few years later, I found it out, something that happened direct that moment, and then the emergency personnel started arriving and all those kind of land. So once that guy, he took pictures, because he was lighting, saying to me, but I noticed, you notice most when someone is trying, and then he was like, no, I'm trying to light to assist you.
So this guy was trying to get you, dead or something?
No, I would not say. He was trying to assist me, was also trying to maybe take his snaps and tell people, so it was something like that. But at that point, although I said to him to not take pictures, he responded that he's not taking pictures. He's just trying to light. So it's fine, Mr. Konda. What happened? The emergency personnel arrived. Your EMS was there. There was also another holistic holistic and also government. So they arrived and tried to assist me. They tried to assist me. I was given injections, all those kind of things. And one of the officials who were part of the medical team, she said something which was very bad, which was very shocking, that I will be unable to walk again. right at that scene. So yeah, they took me to hospital. I went to hospital and it was just busy.
And now, in the process, you're thinking, dang, I will walk again?
You know.
So, obviously, your mindset will be like, it's my end now.
It's my end now.
Yeah.
They have gotten me, because Mr. Konda, I have been a thorn in many people, in particular people who are within the fear of government. Because I challenge people, I challenge every institution, irregardless who is who, which institution is, where there is a person who's failing to give a service to our people, I will be there, who's holding you accountable. I'm that type of a person. I challenge where there is an injustice. I challenge where there are issues, where there's a public outcry of a particular place, being it a private, being it a public. Yes.
I think the society have recognized you in a good way, though. And I'm thinking now, I'm sure you've been helping people before you got injured, right?
Yes.
And now the thing happened. Obviously, the society will be like, "Oh, we're losing our pillar,"
What that accident happened whilst I was in the line of duty, of serving my people. Because if I never went to Grahamstown, maybe I was not going to have an accident. But I had to go to Grahamstown to brief an attorney because of these ladies who were just finding themselves without a job, So I had to try and get an attorney who will be part of that hearing to fight for those those ladies.
Oh, no, that's good, man. That's good. That's good, Mr. Runeli. Well, now this thing happened, right? I'm trying to figure out about your mental health now. How did you feel when you mentally
Mr. Konda, what happened? There was a situation where I was in hospital here in Port Alfred, where everyone, my family was on top of me, friends, comrades, trying, Yes, I was feeling those pains, but I was given certain drugs to not feel those pains, but I was very much concerned of the state of me moving from this room, going to
another one,
to X-ray, and then hearing doctors calling certain doctors from Port Elizabeth. So I began to realize this is serious, and then this is something. And also with what that lady said to me, I began to realize my age, And at a point that I was transferred to Port Elizabeth Hospital, Livingston. I got there, I think in the morning, as per around 3 o'clock in the morning, and then lying there, I went to theater. I went to theater, and then last time I saw myself being taken to one of the rooms which was fully equipped with many, technical doctors being, my mind was very crossed out. Like, now this is the end, and then it so happened that I went to theater. I came out of theater, I think around 11. I don't know. The morning, and then I noticed sleeping in bed. When I woke up, I was like, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Covered with a linen in bed, and then one could not move. And I was asking myself, where am I? Having a dried mouth. My mouth was so dry that I didn't understand where am I, and then I could not move, and I noticed when I was trying to look where are my legs, I noticed certain needles. You know those needles? Those needles, they call them X fixers. They call them X fixers. X fixers. Those were needles that were drilled directly into my bones, you know, and then they were so huge that they were grilled, you know. And then my family started coming, you know, and then I could not move in that bed. And then I asked if I could have juice, because something to drink, because I was very thirsty. I was very thirsty, you know, and coming from theater, waking up, not knowing where you are. And then I was taken now to a ward. You know, it was Ward 3A, where I was told I'll be staying there. And then I slept because I was exhausted and tired. The following morning, the doctors now came to see how am I doing after what happened. So the doctor came to me saying that, yes, you had a very, very, very horrible incident, injuries, and we have tried to save your leg. We don't know what's going to happen, but we will try. We'll try. We cannot land. We've tried. We cannot guarantee if whether your legs will be going amputated or what. But we have tried to save it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Runeli, I know it's quite a trauma. I mean, I can only imagine. Yeah. But what I want to figure out, what kept you going? You know, because I feel like during the process you were fighting for your life. At the same time, there were people I would say threatening you that you wouldn't walk again. You know, what kept you going, and what gave you the faith, you know, that you say these people didn't really give you faith? I mean, hope. They didn't really have hope that you would walk again and stuff like that.
What happened, Mr. Konda? Hey, I prayed. It was Mr. Konda. I grew up in a praying family background. I was raised and also attended a SDA church, Seventh-day Adventist. So I just prayed. I just prayed and asked God to be with me throughout, especially at that point where the doctor said they cannot guarantee, but they will give it a few days and see how do I respond. But they have tried what they could. At the time, I was also told that there was a picture that was circulating where people were rejoicing. In particular, people who are opposed to my views and to the way I was, you know, that the
enemies got excited.
Yes, they got excited, and then some were celebrating. But I did not know this picture. Who took this picture? How did they even begin to get a picture? Why are they assuming that I have my legs? I will not have my legs again. So it so happened. Some people were in support. Some people who sent me messages and all those kind of things. And a few days, the doctors came and told me that at least we've managed to save your leg, and then chances of amputations are less because we have seen you are, at least they are starting to join, you know. So you know, so I spent 5 months in hospital, sleeping in one direction because I could not twist and turn because of what those big X fixers.
For 5 months,
for 5 months,
same position.
Same position.
Yeah.
That was me. I slept from that same position, and and so you know what happened is that upon knowing, okay, find, ish, I am in this situation. Now things will change. Let me accept that I will not be able to walk again.
Yeah.
Because the state that I was in a state where I was cared for, where I was unable to do things by myself. And being in a state hospital, first time in a very, very busy hospital, and you know the situation was so serious that I had to adapt. I had to adapt in the situation of being waked up at 5 o'clock, being given a basin and being given a soap to wash myself, because we were sleeping in beds where you could push it up, you know, whilst your legs, you know, are still, you know, so that, and then a table would come and then you would have to wash yourself, yourself.
So you're saying to me the only thing that kept you going was because of your prayers and your family?
The only thing that kept me going, Mr. Konda, is that I accepted
the
situation.
Good.
And I was positive, and I trusted that God would be with me. You know, I had that positive mindset.
Wow.
And I told myself, well, okay, fine. The people, they could laugh and make jokes, fine. I did not invite what happened to me, but it's fine. You know, it's something that I will deal with later. Let me now focus on myself. Let me now accept that I am in this situation. Let me now accept that I will have to walk. I will have to be in this situation of being waked at 5 a.m., taking treatment, making getting injections and all those kind of things, pain, you know.
So you got to accept that.
I got to accept that, Mr. Koda, that I even had to accept that now I have to ask a sister so to bring me things where I could relieve myself. You know, when human nature calls, you know, because I was in that situation. I had to adapt to many things, Mr. Pond. You know, I had to adapt, seated in that bed. Seated in that bed.
Bro, this is powerful, man. No, I'm trying to think about it.
Seated in that bed, being taken for x-rays, being taken for theater, because what happened, my wounds were not healing, you know, so I would be taken to theater 5 times. I was taken to theater 5 times for washing my wound because it was becoming septic, changing, you know, it was just a very
I understand, Mr. X.
hectic situation.
So now if you have to reflect on that, you know, how is your mental health doing now? You know, would you say mentally you're okay?
Mr. Paula, mentally, what happened is that I told myself, let me have a positive mindset.
Good.
In order for me to heal, I need to accept, I need to understand that things now are going to change. You know, I have to be in a situation of asking and requesting for assistance, and have to be understand that I am in this situation, and then the only person who's going to help me is myself and my heart. You know, so I need to help myself by accepting and having a positive mindset. So it so happened that I was discharged to hospital. I was discharged. I was told that I have to purchase weight for a walking wheelchair. Yes, I was in a wheelchair, Mr. Kond. I had to also start physio in moving from the bed and sitting. because I was sleeping for more than 5 months. So I started physio, and then after physio, I had to get a wheelchair. And then being in a state hospital where there are limited resources, I had to try and source my own wheelchair. A wheelchair which will have things to assist my legs, so my legs could stand straight. Yes, because I had a problem with my legs, and then those X-fixers were removed. And then when they were removed, because now the bone was found to be healing, so now I had to get other things which were braces, where I have to wear them to keep my legs straight, So I was discharged, Mr. Corner, and then upon being discharged, I was told myself, wheelchair or not wheelchair, I will still be going and fighting for the people. So I told myself, okay, in as much as people were celebrating, then when I got home, many people came to see me and visited me. People were so sympathetic. You could see that, hey, people were worried. But hey, things will change. Yes, so he's been succumbed, to a point now he will not longer be able to do the things that he was doing.
Oh man.
No,
this is powerful, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of a conversation behind the scenes, where you talk about your upbringing. I just want to touch bases on it, about with anger issues, man, because I feel like we as a community, especially the black community, I mean, we live with anger issues and we refuse to take them off from our lives, Now I'm trying to understand whether you have came through, or maybe experiencing such an instance.
Mr. Ponda, I have now been having problem with anger issues. Because I'm a person who at some point takes the pain of a person and takes it to me.
Okay.
And then when I deal with a situation, I deal with that, with that sense of emotion.
Wow,
because I feel that pain. Because I was raised by a single mother, Mr. Konda. Yes, a single mother. Being raised by a single mother and then being a victim of parent separations, that had a very heavy impact on me. As a result, I've been a problem child, I've been a problem child, even at school, where I was expelled at grade 5. I was expelled at grade 5 because I was that rebellious child. I was that child who was saying, you cannot do this to me. You cannot hit me with a morgaprat. You cannot tell me about detentions. You cannot, impose certain things, because I saw them as being, wrong, and then, with my issues, so I was that type of a child, so it resulted in me being expelled at one of the local schools, Port Alfred High School, at grade 5, and then I moved to Port Elizabeth, and then I came back to Port Alfred, and then I came back to Port Alfred High School, and again I was also expelled at grade 11, and I had a rocky grade 11, and until I passed and my matric, because I remember I was writing matric at a point where my parents were my mother in particular, yes, because who was fed up of a situation of being called in and out of school. So I was suspended. I wrote my matric not wearing a uniform of a school because I was suspended. I was suspended from grade 11, and then I passed my matric, and then I was still serving suspension. You know,
during that time.
So I would go to school and write, and I would get books from the school, you know. So it was a bumpy road. But all of that, Mr. Kawanda, I've managed to not, I would not say I have completely recovered
from the anger
issues, you know. But the issue of accident, I think also it is also something which
plays a part.
Which also plays a part, you know. Because Mr. Konda, if one takes into account, I was in a wheelchair. From a wheelchair, I was in a walking frame. From walking frame, I was in crutches, you know. And I was still, during that time I was in the wheelchair, I was attending meetings because I had my car. I had my car and I would have a driver take me to the meeting. When I heard that there is a community meeting at 5 o'clock, you know, where meetings that I used to attend and ask hit-hitting questions, you know, trying to hold people into account. So I went there in that wheelchair, you know, because I had this in mind, though I needed to show them, you know, the people who were thinking, you know, making laughing stock of me and all those kind of things, you know, that it's me, I'm still surviving, you know, I'm still surviving and I'm still going to survive. You know, I will overcome,
whatever
comes my way. I will, in this wheelchair, it will be a matter of time. You know, I will overcome, and then look at am I now? I'm using a crash.
It shows them,
you know, so you know, I am trying and I'm still recovering, Mr. Konda. You know, so at a point that I've been into many things. I know I've been into prison. I've been into prison because of community struggles. I've been into prison 3 times, Mr. Konda. You know, prison 3 times. I'm still attending court cases, even now,
for
community issues. There is no one who could say that I've got a charge of stealing, of robbing, of raping. You know, it's issues of public violence, fighting for the rights of the people, you know, and all those kind of things, Mr. Konda. You know, I've been in prison, you know, walking in the corridors, you know, with the situation, you know, so that is me. And at the time, I was not a counselor, you know, I was not a counselor because to me, it was about helping people. It was not about earning or what so forth. It was about helping. Because even if one takes into account, I was doing these things whilst I was not even in counselor, whilst the organization that sent me to counsel was not even having a seat in council. And then we managed to have 1 seat in council. And I was not part of that seat until the EFF said, no, let us deploy Comrade Runeli, you know. So let us deploy Comrade Runeli, and then in going to those corridors of council chambers, where you have to walk stairs to reach council and council chambers. You know. So it's still a problem to me, and because I am in this situation. Yes. God, I was a very active young person. I was a rugby player. God, I'm a very passionate in rugby. I was gymming. God. You know, if one even takes into account, I used to lift at some point, you know.
But now, do you think you get? Do you still do that?
No, I still do it because what helped me, it's swimming.
Good.
You know, because I was faced with a situation where after being discharged, I would see a physio once a month. Imagine seeing a physio once a month. So I decided, let me train myself. Let me have dumbbells.
Wow, man.
You know, let me start swimming.
Yeah.
I started swimming, and slowly my muscles started coming back, regaining strength, you know, because I've been lying in a hospital bed for more than 5 months.
Wow, man.
So I started recovering and gaining strength, you know, gaining strength.
You really fought for your health. I can really tell that, you know, and I'm sure someone who's going through what you went through, I mean, is more likely to get advice from what are you talking about just now. Oh man, that's good. So now, Mr. Runeli, you know, this channel is called like Mental Health is Power. So what can you say about that? Do you agree with me when I say mental health is power, or you just against the statement?
No, I agree with you. I fully agree. If you take into account one of the reasons, one of the things that has helped me to recover and have a positive mindset is mental health. Having a strong, positive mind health. You know, because why am I saying that? There's no a single person who could say he or she was a person who counseled me. I was never counseled, Mr. Konda. There's never a professional person who came to me and said, I attended counsel. He was counseling me for my situation. I never received that.
It's your mindset.
It's my mindset. Yeah, it was in here.
Yeah.
I accepting the situation and understanding that things will change. It's no longer a situation of waking up and going to run in the morning. It's no longer a situation of walking and going to the toilet. It's a situation of asking. It's a situation of seeking assistance. You know, and I had to have patience. I have to accept that people will get tired of me. I had to accept that people will get annoyed of me. And I have to just understand that I am no longer that Xolisa. I am no longer like any other comrade. You know, I am this person now. You know, so it is all through a positive and a healthy mindset where you have to detox many things, you know, and detoxing many things, it requires you to accept the situation first.
Yes.
When you accept, you start training your mindset.
Yes.
Training to be in a healthy state, in a positive state.